Paddle is still not there as you and me would like it to be.
If you bring Tapia and Coelho to Korea, nobody knows who they are. So that means that, of course, they are on the elite of paddle, but paddle is super small yet. It's a niche market yet.
We still need a couple of years before we can actually talk about the Olympics as a reality.
Yeah.
At the moment, on the FIP rankings, in the top 100, there's only just 9 nations, 9 different countries. And inside the top 10 in the ATP, there are as many. So there are 9 nations in the top 10. How long will it take to get like 20, 25 inside the top 100?
What's happening now in paddle is that it's growing, players are earning more money each year, so they are trying to become celebrities, but of course they are far away from that. If we don't grow the paddle from the roots, this will never happen. Nowadays, paddle is not global yet, and can only be global if we grow it from the ground, if we grow it from the community, from clubs, we build clubs, if we create community, local community, if we engage with local influencers, not bringing Coelho to Korea. It's bringing local celebrities and make them play paddle. That's the way to grow.
If I open my LinkedIn, I see nothing else, just successes of paddle. Let's say my mom would check out my LinkedIn. She would think that like paddle is the biggest thing in the world. Hi everyone, this is the 3rd season of the Padel Podcast, and this was not planned, I have to say, but I just written to Alex Ponseti yesterday, asked him how he's doing. Shall we just do a recording in like April? And he was like, why don't we do it tomorrow? So here we are. Alex Ponseti is with me. I don't really have to, I mean, you already know him because he has been on the podcast, so I don't really have to introduce him. I will still, say a few things about him before we started recording, but welcome. I see you're in a hotel room. I know where it is. Not exactly, obviously, but how's the weather in Miami?
Wow, that's amazing because, I live in Barcelona, and usually in Barcelona, the weather is fine as well. We love it. But for the last 2-3 weeks, it has been raining every day. Even today, it's raining in Barcelona. So I'm super happy being here in Miami because the weather is amazing.
Yeah, and welcome. I mean, it's great, and it's a great privilege to have you. I think the last time we've seen each other, definitely face to face, was in Malaga last May.
That's true. Wow.
Yeah, and a lot has happened since. I am eagerly waiting for the next summit. I have to say, I did a bit of a series. You might have seen it. I don't know if you have. I've done an episode every day when I was in Malaga. So there were like on that week. So I just called it the Padel Summit week. And yeah, a lot has happened. Yeah, how you've been? I mean, I just sort of asked it off air, but I'm pretty curious on what's happening. Just give me a bit of an oversight on what has happened in the last year, because it's almost a year now since you've been on the podcast.
Well, since last year, a lot of things happened, but mainly, we had an agreement with Fira Barcelona, that is the convention center of Barcelona, to manage the Padel World Summit from now on. And this is a super exciting news because they are experts on that. They're huge. They know what to do. They organize really big events. So we were needing that because we did the first edition as good as possible, but we know about Padel, but we were not experts on creating this kind of events. So it was quite risky. And now with this agreement, now it's going to go much better internally. Then externally, maybe nobody feels the difference, but at least we have more team to work on it. We have more tools, more resources. So for me, at least personally, I'm feeling super comfortable that I can do that with an expert team. So only for that, this is one of the best things that we have done this year. But apart from that, of course, this year, the Padel World Summit is going to look amazing because we'll have 8 paddle courts from 8 different paddle court manufacturers. The look and feel is going to be super different because the courts are around the expo area. So all the brands are on the center. The Congress is on the same area. Everything is around it. It's going to look amazing. Even the Congress, we change it everything. So it's going to be something unique, but at least the first time in the the first time in paddle. I know in the sports never happened before, but at least in paddle, of course, never. And I'm excited to launch that.
I mean, it will be amazing. And what can I say? I already told like 15 of my friends that they should be coming along. And obviously, we have big plans. I do have big plans with the podcast on what I can do. We'll talk about it off air on what can be done and what would you like me to do. Because obviously, there's so many opportunities, and we're still 2 months away. So there's still a little bit of time. I mean, for you, it will be literally a heartbeat. So now you're on the Racket X. You fly home, and from then on in, you will sleep one, and then that will be the summit day. So I
Yeah,
know how it
that's true.
is. I know how it is. And look, I think what I can say as partly someone who was doing a lot of content and partly someone who absolutely enjoyed every perk of the last year's summit. I cannot wait. Barcelona is one of my favorite cities in the world. So Malaga is obviously up there as well, but Barcelona in itself is. I always joke about that because I'm from Budapest and I live in Bristol. That every city starting with a B must be great. So that's how I definitely feel about Barcelona. I think it will be amazing. And look, I think you made it so seamless as well last year. You had a nice word to everyone. You were as comforting and as how should I put it, as a great host as possible. So look, I mean, I'm really excited. To be fair, I know less this year than I knew last year, strangely enough, somehow. But we'll talk about it anyway when it will be not on a live recording because today I wanted to talk about Tactica because you play a really big part in Tactica Equity. How did that come about? What is your role in it? I know obviously Ryan Redondo. I'm trying to get him on the podcast, but he's according to some of my friends, he's not the quickest to answer any sort of inquiries. So I think he will come back, and I really want to get him on the podcast, but because I think the work he's doing for Padel and worldwide Padel and US Padel is something great. And here we have Alex Ponseti, who also said, you know what, I want to be part of the American growth. And then you joined Tactica Equity. So how was that? And how did you end up partnering up with?
Well, that's funny because I like to think that this opportunity starts always the same way. It doesn't start because of business. It starts because of the person behind. Because with Ryan, I have a really good relation because as you mentioned, he's doing a lot of work, but he, as a person, he's super kind person, and I love what he does. I love how he lives. So that's how we started. So we started with one to one. Listen, hey, let's have a coffee. Let's see what we can do together. Let's chat about life, and that's where the opportunity arrived because then we start with we had different opportunities. Firstly, with Group Adult Team by Tactica, the team of the Hexagon Cup. So we had that opportunity to join forces there because I have on the other side it was Business Padel Tour with Edu Conde that was going to create a new team that we were looking for investors. Then Tactica arrived and they said, wow, this is amazing. We want to be part of it. So then we became partners somehow. And after that, we felt that we were feeling so comfortable. So we decided, hey, let's do something bigger. Tactic Equity was moving on. So they were needing someone that understands the market. So, and they decided that was me. And I'm honored to be there as well because I want to support them because they are doing a great job. They want to grow, they want to do it the right things and the right way, and that's what I'm trying to do as well.
Yeah, look, I mean, again, you definitely know the market inside and out, and I think all of us, mere rookies. I mean, I've been in the pedal industry for 3 years, but I still feel like I don't know the first thing about pedal. I've been playing a lot, but I still feel like every time I go on court that I know less about the game. So look, I think we definitely need guys who grew up with the game, and that's what I'm trying to always say as well when I'm in the UK, when I'm in Hungary, that we need people with a calmer mindset, that they actually do know what they're talking about, because everyone tends to say that yes, this is the best thing since sliced bread, and you definitely should be joining my company because this company is worldwide already, and that's the thing. And it's not. It's still, and what we and I try to always focus on that one. Paddle is still not there as you and me would like it to be. So
Yeah.
now Miami is the center of attention. But if you would ask out of 100 or 1,000 people what is happening in Miami, everyone would say possibly the Masters. So like was that
The
the
Premier Padel, you mean?
ATP Masters? So it's not even
The
it's
Miami,
not
the
even the
Miami
Premier
Open.
Pedal.
The
So
Miami Open, you mean? Yeah.
yeah, sorry, the Miami Open. So the Masters, it was 1,000. I got there in the end. So um, I think, and look, I think it is a great tournament. I've been watching as much as I can, and I want to pick your brain on it because I know that you said that you're going out to the tournament today. But so why like what are you expecting of Reckitt X? Obviously you have a lot of meetings with a lot of exhibitors who will be also in Barcelona, B, I guess, enthusiastic paddle people, and entrepreneurs and all that. So what was your expectation? Obviously, you need to be there, but and it was lovely of you asking me when I'm flying in. But it's like I'm still learning the game. So I think hopefully
Yeah.
next year I will be there.
Well, the proposals of this trip are several, because of course I was having a lot of meetings, because as an event like this with Rocket X and Premier Paddle, the most of the ecosystem of paddle is here. It's funny because most of them are, we could meet in Barcelona or Madrid, but we are meeting here in Miami. And firstly, is to continue growing in terms of network, to continue promoting the Padel World Summit, to make them know that this exists for people in the US that they don't know it yet, to meet with exhibitors that are already exhibitors and in the summit or not. I'm also speaker in a panel on Monday in Rocket X. And because of course with the Rocket staff, with Robin, we have a really good relation, and I love to support her because they are doing a great job here in the US. So as much as I can, I want to support them.
Yeah, 100%. And look, that's absolutely understandable. How's your paddle game going? So, have you been playing anything lately?
Well,
What's happening?
I stopped playing. When in reality, I'm a former frustrated tennis player. Then I became a frustrated paddle player as well. So then I became coach. I was not frustrated, but at least I well I was coach for a lot of time. I've been a coach for 18 years, paddle and tennis. So I think I was thinking I was playing good when I was playing on my club, but then when I was playing tournaments, I was not winning any match. So that means that I'm not good enough. Now I play not often. I play maybe once a month, something like this, because I don't have more time. But I would love to play more. Yesterday we played in Padel X, but it was like a social game, so with people that never played before. It was like having fun, but not a real match. And hopefully we'll play at least one interesting match these days here in Miami. I am looking for it. Let's see if this happens.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of feel like the more you are connected to paddle, the less you can play in many ways because
Yeah,
there's so much
that's
to do. But I hope
exactly.
that will change. And look, I would obviously say that I would love to play you in Barcelona, but I know how like mentally it will be for you. And I've seen last year that A, as I said, you've been an absolutely brilliant host, but B, I knew that you had to be everywhere all at once. So, it would be fun, but I don't think it will happen. But if there will be something like that, please think of me. That
Okay.
like I will be in Barcelona a couple of days prior to the summit as well. So I'm more than happy to
But
join
this
you.
year, if you come to Barcelona this year, you will be able to play because on the paddle course we are creating something. At least the last day we are creating. So we are launching soon. That the first day the dress code is sportswear. So everybody needs to come in sportswear because everybody's going to play paddle.
Brilliant. Yeah. I
Because
mean,
it's business. The summit is it's business, but most of businessmen that are involved in paddle, they love to play.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we need to connect it as a social sport. Everybody talks about this. Well, it's super easy to make business in paddle because of the sport, because you play a match. Okay, so let's do it there as well. So
No, no,
forget about the suite
it's a great
and
initiative, and look, at the end of the day, all I can say is that I love to play. If I could play every day, I would. There's obviously some A, financial burdens. B, it's quite hard to find people. C, it's just not viable to really play all the time. But it is what it is. How closely are you following Premier Padel? Because I wanted to ask about your opinion on the FIP versus the players. Obviously, you don't have to be opinionated, but I wanted to see on how you feel about it, and what should happen differently. Why is Premier Padel making it quite hard for the professional players to enjoy the game as much as they would like to?
yeah, I think the truth they only know, only players and Premier and FIP knows, but they need to agree each other because at the end they need each other. Players need a tournament, and Premier need players, so they are forced to agree and to have a deal and move on because for the for the goodness of this sport, they need to continue growing for brands. So brands need that they agree. So all the ecosystem needs that players have a good tour, and Premier need those players. So I don't want to I don't want to say my opinion because it's tough because I think that none of them are wrong, but none of them have the 100% truth. So I cannot say more, but I would love that this never happened, and I would love that they agree and continue growing and promoting the sport worldwide. They are doing a great job here in Miami, for example. So they are moving around, they are promoting the sport worldwide, and that's what they should continue doing. Because
Um,
nowadays, what happens is, sorry, Dennis, is that
no, no.
if you bring Tapi and Coelho to Korea, nobody knows them. Nobody knows who they are. So that means that, of course, they are on the elite of paddle, but paddle is super small yet. It's a niche market yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they need to continue promoting the sport worldwide. But I think that the potential is not there. The potential is from the ground, from the clubs, from the community, from kids. There is a real job for the ecosystem of paddle in terms of business. We need to focus on that, not on the athletes.
Well, I think it's a really complex topic, and where we started from, obviously the professional players. It's really interesting, and I just wanted to point it out that the ATP had a bit of an issue as well at the moment with the players because they launched a lawsuit against them. So it's pretty interesting that both. I would just call it this time paddle tennis and tennis because I never call it paddle tennis, but I will say it for this comparison. They do, like, they are quite unrest, and look, at the end of the day, it was quite interesting because I think paddle players are earning as much as they I mean, it's pretty controversial, which I will say now, and I don't really know if that's what I believe. But in terms of financial reasons and the business and the marketing value of even the top players, they're earning as much as they can earn. So I feel like, you cannot really compare Djokovic or, not even, let's say, Mackenzie McDonald, who's like, a name for a brand because he's sponsored by Original Penguin. And, Original Penguin has the likes of several amazing golfers and that sort of thing. So they are a big brand. And Mackie McDonald is one of their players, and he's just about around 100. But why I'm just saying his name is that he obviously earned a lot more than Tapia or Coelho will possibly earn. Definitely until for a few more years. But where I'm trying to get to is I think it is like we are at that place at the moment where we definitely need to grow the game before we can pretty much raise eyebrows for these sort of things. So I 100% agree with you that, look, at the moment, we need the players, we need the entertainment, and we need to grow the game. That's what I always say everywhere. We really need to grow the game. And what do you think about like Coelho moving to Miami, and a lot of guys are moving to reserve and that sort of thing, and they're training there? Is it just the facade? Is it just like not something which really is happening? Because Coelho said that he moved there because of IMG, but he's still training in Madrid. Or is it something which will happen more and more? Some people might end up in Australia. How's that going? What are you seeing on that one? Do you have any opinions about it?
Yeah, I think that I don't know it in person, but I think that there are two main things. Firstly, is that they are only moving to places that paddle it's big, or at least people love paddle and want to promote paddle, like Miami. That is the door of the rest of America. So that's one of the reasons. But mainly the reason for that athletes to move there is money. It's as easy as that. If they think that they can have more money, and so they're going to do that. And for them, this is a business. It's not for us. It's you only to enjoy and have fun, but for them, it's their job. So as a job, you have a new opportunity, you go for it. So that's what they are doing, and I think that it's fine. And if they find the opportunity, they can earn more money, they can promote paddle more locally. So let's go for it. And I don't think that they're going to South Africa or Australia because they are too far from the tour, and nobody is playing there yet. There is no hype yet.
Yeah. No, I think Australia is pivotal. That's the one. Because I think with a lot of people talking about Brisbane and that the Olympics might include paddle. We spoke about it, I think, on like a year ago, and we're still not closer. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about it, but I don't really think we might be a little bit closer than we were a year ago, but not by much. I think we still need a couple of years before we can actually talk about the Olympics as a reality. And I think it is a really important bit to know that even if we're getting super excited about how amazing Tapia and Coelho are, and how amazing LeBron and Stupa and Galan and Chingotto and all these guys are, we need to realize that we're so far away still from actually talking about the Olympics, that we really need to. I mean, I can just only go back to that point that what you and I are doing, we are trying to grow this game every day. Look, I love this game. I am now a converted tennis player. Now tennis is actually number 2, and I never actually thought in my life that I will say this. And if more and more people will think about this sport this way, we will be on the rise. But I think, as I said, as still a new kid on the block with paddle, for me, it is still a long way before. And I mean, when we started talking about paddle 3 years ago, and I was like, and when I started playing, I was like, yeah, that's just like, what is like, it's amazing on TV, it's great to watch, it's there's like proper stars. Although when I say this, they hardly speak English, so that's still one barrier which they definitely have to
Yeah.
overcome. So yeah, what I also wanted to ask, and on the same trail, is at the moment on the FIP rankings in the top 100, there's only just 9 nations, 9 different countries. And inside the top 10 in the ATP, there are as many. So there are 9 nations in the top 10. What do you think? How long will it take to get like 20, 25 inside the top 100?
It depends on us. That's the answer. In reality, I love that you asked this to me because I told you that the Congress of the Summit was something new. So let me explain you what it is. What's happening now in Padel is that, as you know, it's growing. Players are earning much more money each year, so they are they are trying to become celebrities, but of course they are far away from that because Padel it's a Latin sport in terms of professional play. So if we don't grow the paddle from the roots, this will never happen. And the Congress is about that. The Congress this year is not going to be different topics. It's going to be only one topic and 13 different panels from 13 different perspectives of that topic. And the topic is building a global phenomenon from the ground up. That means that nowadays, paddle is not global yet and can only be global if we grow it from the ground. If we grow it from the community, from clubs, we build clubs. If we create community, local community, if we engage with local influencers, not bringing Coelho to Korea, it's bringing local celebrities and make them play paddle. That's the way to grow. And then make kids play paddle and make kids that love that game and want to be professional. And that day they will become professional and year by year they will start playing better and they will be on the tour and they will be on the top 10. So this will take a lot of time yet. I think that maybe in 5, 10 years. So this is the main issue that if we don't grow the paddle from the roots, if we don't bring really good coaches worldwide, if we don't create new clubs, new academies, and we don't support kids to play in new countries, paddle will never be a global sport, and maybe we are not Olympics until then. So that's the thing, and that's why the Congress this year is focused on that, because at least for me, this is the main issue we have right now. It's super fun in paddle. Every day it's happening new things, new investments, new opportunities. It's growing. Everybody's talking about paddle, but who's everybody? The community of paddle, of course. But all my social networks are paddle. So I open Instagram and everything is paddle. I open LinkedIn and it looks like all people around me is talking about paddle as well. Wow, paddle is the most hype in socials, but it's not. It's because I like paddle, so everybody around me talks about paddle. But if I go to a new country, nobody gonna know what is paddle.
It was really interesting because I had Pablo Garcia, and I'm trying to convince him to come to the summit. If he's not going to be in Argentina, he is coming to the summit, hopefully, from El Cuatro Set. And we had the same discussion with him. And look, if someone knows what's going on, and I mean, look, the ecosystem, what you and I are talking about is real. Like, if I open my LinkedIn, I see nothing else, just successes of Padel. So if someone from, like, let's say my mom would check out my LinkedIn, she would think that like Padel is the biggest thing in the world. But when I talk to, I don't know, my best friend's mom, and say what padel is, they don't have a clue. And it doesn't even have to be, like my mom's generation or my grandma or whatever. It can be even young people, because young people don't even know at the moment. Korea is a good example, but it can be anywhere in Asia. Yes, Europe is now getting there, definitely. And I think if we see the growth of Sweden, as we spoke about it, the growth and the downfall of Sweden, but we see the growth of France, of Italy, of Portugal. Now we have a Portuguese pair who's actually really good. The Deus brothers. So if you see them, yes, they are amazing. But can they beat, just to say, Tolito and Gonzo Alfonso? They possibly can't, and they've shown that they couldn't beat them in Portugal. But that's just one result, so I'm just generalizing. But I think it is really interesting to see on how the game is evolving, and that's what you and you're taking a lot more professional than I do. Don't get me wrong, I'm just a storyteller, but that's what I'm trying to do. My part is that yes, I do hope that I can help out with the business side as well, but I'm trying to get this sport to more and more people who haven't heard of padel yet. So yeah, the last topic which I want to cover, and then I'm going to let you go because I know that obviously you're going to Rakidex, you're going to Premier Padel. I wish I was there, and it's quite early in Miami at the moment when we're chatting. Who do you think are the favorites, and who are the underdogs? And please name the ladies as well as the man.
For the players on Premier, you mean?
Yes, yeah. So for the Miami Premier Padel P1.
Well, yesterday I saw what match I saw. I saw LeBron and Stupa. They played amazing.
They are.
I love how
at the moment.
they are playing amazing. Well, it's difficult for me because in the Crew Padel team we have in male we have Momo and Chingo, and I want them to win always. So no matter what happens, I want them to win. I want to win, and I hope they were playing together, but that's not possible yet. But if I have to say something, I would love to say Galan and Chingo, for example, because of Chingoto, or Momo and
John
I forget the name now.
John Sanz.
And John Sanz, sorry. Momo and John. That of course is more difficult because they are not in the top 3 to 4, but they are playing amazing as well. I love John because I'm lefty as him as John. I love how they play. And in women, of course, it will be very Besed and Padel Jensen because they are not playing together, but I love them as well. They are on the Crew Padel team, so I want to support them. Even Maxi Sanchez, that was not player, was coach at that moment, but he's playing amazing. Of course, he's not on his bed because he's not on the top 10 anymore. I would love that. But yeah, I need to say that's the ones that I like the most.
Yeah, no, I like that answer, and it's not a really common answer either. So look, I do get it why you chose them, but I think it is a really interesting one. Look, Alex, I'm gonna let you go. I really appreciate your time. I think we covered really good topics, and I hope to see you before the summit. But if we only meet up in the summit, that will be good as well. And I hope that you and me will be on the same side of the court as well, and hopefully we'll beat some of the guys.
100%.
So have a great time in Miami, and see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Dennis.